Hi everyone, welcome to episode 4 of the Leicester Save, and I'm not even joking when I say I might be about to get sacked. Hello everyone, Jake here, welcome back to the Leicester series. We're on episode 4 now, so thank you to anyone who has stuck around until this point. Today's episode is going to be a busy one. We've got two pretty important matches of football. We've got some transfers that we've brought in and some players that we've sold, and then on top of that, the whole saga about me getting sacked. And I mean, if we lose this today, I actually might lose my job. I know it might not look like it by the league standing, but I'll get into everything about why that is in a second. But before we do, if you guys could be absolute legends and smash that like button, it really would mean a lot. It puts it in front of more eyes on YouTube, which is great in terms of growing the series. And of course, showing your support, let me know that you appreciate the content. And we're getting very close now to 10k. I think we're on 9.7 or something like that at this point. So we're getting very close to 10k subscribers. So if you're on episode 4 and you are enjoying yourself, please hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. You can change your mind at any point, but I would be more than happy if you did. Final thing, get involved in the comments. I'll reply to every single one that I can. Let me know what you think of my transfers, and maybe we'll get sacked in this episode and you can let me know how you feel about that. But we find ourselves sitting in 8th place, and like I said, you might look at that and think, I mean, Jake, Leicester are in a relegation battle in real life. 8th place is fantastic. 2 points out of the European zone. I'd say the same thing, but tell that to the board, who are giving me an F rating, and I've had an F rating for about 2 months now, and they've actually called me into a meeting at one point to say I was one game away from getting sacked. Now, how has that happened? You tell me. So the situation is, I mean, I'll show you our schedule in a minute and what happened in the individual matches, but Leicester in Football Manager still expect themselves to be the best of the rest. And if you read that, that means they want to be the best side outside of the top 4. So they're saying, realistically, I need to be higher than Arsenal, Spurs, maybe one of Chelsea or something like that, or Man U, and get in a 5th place spot. If not 5th, then maybe 6th or 7th will be okay, I don't know. But Leicester in-game haven't adapted to the situation that they're in real life, where you can see the squad they've got, realise they haven't made any improvements whilst everyone has, and they've actually got one of the weaker squads in the Premier League at this point, obviously before we made our transfers. So already the bar is very high for what they want us to do here. And you remember we won our first game 6-2, and I'll show you our form after that. That first month of August, we won 4 of our matches and only lost 2 of them. Bear in mind, one was only our second game of the season, and the other one was away at the Etihad, arguably the hardest match that you'll have all year. Then September comes around and we won both of our home games comfortably and just lost out to Southampton away from home. Again, the season's going okay at this point. Along comes October though, and we were having a tough time of it. You saw us draw 0-0 to Everton in a video. After that, we lose at home to Crystal Palace 2-1. It's not the worst result in the world. Palace are a decent side on their day. We then lose away to Tottenham, probably what most people would expect anyway. We get a nice draw against Liverpool, which we almost had a win, scoring in the 83rd and Milner equalising in the 86th. We then lose a tough away match against West Ham. It's a tough battle, and at this point they're saying I'm one game away from being sacked. I thought that was absolutely crazy. There was a poll that said 80% of Leicester fans want me gone. I looked at the new feature they have in the game though. I think it's called the Fan Vision or something. Yeah, supporter confidence, and they were really happy with me. So I was surprised why 80% of them wanted me gone, but either way, after that point, I changed tactic, and I'll show you what tactic we changed to, and we went and won 5-1, at which point I get told I'm in an SACKED match against Leeds. Now that's the game's way of saying if I lose that game, there's a good chance I get sacked, even after a 5-1 win. We went 2-0 down in that game before half-time, only to score 2 goals, a late one from Berardi to equalise, to get a point away from home at Ellen Road. Not easy again, but we took it. We then beat QPR 3-2 in the Carabao Cup. We then beat Brighton 4-0. We then go on the World Cup break. I actually don't know who won the World Cup, so we'll have a look in a second to see who did. But basically, we come back, we smash Wolves in the Cup as well with our new tactic. We lose 1-0 away to Arsenal, a goal from Jesus in the 2nd minute, which, you know, again, at the Emirates, what are we expected to do, really? We then go into a match against Chelsea, where it says, again, it's an SACKED match between me and Graham Potter. I get loads of media messages from club legends saying that it's time for me to go. Shinji Okazaki, I'm looking at you. I got a little media thing to say he did an interview and said that he doesn't believe I'm good enough. We then beat Chelsea 3-1 to prove the doubters wrong, and now we have a game against Newcastle. So If someone was ready to sack me after a Chelsea result, then, if we lose to Newcastle, maybe they'll sack me again. So I really need to be careful here. I'm surprised that after this run of form, we're still on an F rating because I think we're doing very, very well. I do feel pretty harshly done by, but the January transfer window has just opened up. We've managed to bring in a couple of players, but we've lost 2 players, one a very significant player in the side, and for not too much money either, so it's quite disappointing. So I'll show you all of that, show you the new tactic, but yeah, that's the situation we're in. If it goes wrong today, there's a good chance we could get sacked, but Newcastle at home is a must-win for us. We're in 8th, they're in 9th, and then an FA Cup match against West Brom. You would hope we can win that one too. Follow it up with a win against Norwich to get into the semis. Brentford away, Southampton at home. We could win a lot of these games. We just need to make sure we get over the line in the hardest one, I think, which is this Newcastle match. There's still a couple of transfers that I'm trying to get done currently to improve the side, but to catch up on what's gone on, Danny Ward asked to leave on loan, so we let him go. He's gone to Astana for the season. That one does not bother me at all. Iverson has been our backup this year, so Danny Ward can go. Johnny Evans had 6 months left on his deal and was going to leave on a free, so I thought I'd offer him out beforehand. He wasn't really playing for us. I just figured if we could get any money in for him, it would be useful, and we did manage to get 1.2 million. We lose a leader in the dressing room, but get a massive wage bill off of our books, and that's a big problem with Leicester, by the way. They've got a lot of players on overly paid wages, in my opinion. Youri Tielemans was the big one though. He's left the club for only £13.5 million. We got trapped in a situation where he wasn't extending his deal. He made it clear to me he wanted to leave, and it was either wait a month and lose him on a free or organise a transfer for him to leave the club. He actually hadn't been amazing for us anyway, a pretty poor season overall. 13.5 mil. It's not great, but it is what it is. You can see he's clearly worth more than that, but the fact that he's now left has meant that we needed to replace him. I don't think you can replace a player like Youri Tielemans at a team like Leicester at this stage. He's a great talent, a great passer, a great creator, but it wasn't really working for us anyway. So in that sense, maybe we can replace the guy. And we've tried to do so by bringing in Sander Berger of Sheffield United, I believe is where he came from. He was a wonder kid back in the day. He played well at Genk for a few years, made his move to Sheffield United where he's done well. They're in the Championship currently, and he's had a pretty good season for them. We've bought him in for pretty much exactly the Tielemans money, and he's clearly not the same player that Tielemans was. But when you see the tactic that we're running, I think he could do a good job in the midfield of what we're now trying to do. So Sander Berger has joined us. The Norwegian has 24 caps. The coaches consider him an important player, so I'm hoping he will really kick on at our club. And then the final transfer that we bought in was another Norwegian, Andreas Schelderup, who thankfully my scouts managed to find. If you don't know, because I do Wonder Kid videos on FM Scout, I do know quite a bit about the best players to buy straight away. But in these saves, I only go by what my scouts recommend, and that way I don't get to use my prior knowledge to break the game, let's say. But when my scouts were recommending Andreas Schelderup as the best option out of anyone that they'd scouted so far, we had to go for him. 18 years of age, already a phenomenal player, can play on that left-hand side to back up Harvey Barnes, and I really do think he is going to be top draw for us going forward. A lot of room left to grow with him as well. I won't rely on him too much right now, but hopefully as time goes on, he will be a key player for us. So before we get into the next match, the next thing I want to show you is our tactic. So if I clear this, you might have remembered at the start of the series, I wanted to do a 4-2-4, but I didn't feel like we had the players for it. And it was always in one of the slots up here. We were using the 4-3-3, but when that stopped working, one game I switched to the 4-2-4. We changed tactics for the first time in the second half against West Ham, scored within 6 minutes, and then battered Wolves with it. And since then, we've been very, very impressive, particularly this win against Chelsea. They were in 4th place, so I think that's a pretty impressive win. But yeah, the tactic's doing very well. It's the 4-2-4 preset that the game gives you. I haven't adjusted too much outside of that. A roaming playmaker isn't exactly the kind of role I'd normally use, but because it's working, I'm not changing anything right now. So that's currently what we're rocking with. If I do pick our best 11 for this tactic without restriction, it would look like this: Bayande, Justin, Soyuncu, Nelson, Castagna and Didi, Dewsbury Hall, Berardi, Maddison, Vardy and Iheanacho, which is not a bad team, and it's pretty much what we've been running with. But you'll see for today's match, because we only played 2 days ago, a lot of our players are tired, so we really need to make sure we get this team selection right. So let's sort it out now. I'm actually going to go with Matt Doherty at right wing back because when he came into the side was when we started winning, and then we pushed Castagna onto the left and it seems to work. With Nelson fairly tired, I will bring through Wout Fez at the back here, although again, he's not fully fit. I think we don't play him actually. I think we'll go for Nelson and Soyuncu. I do have another centre-back on the way in, hopefully with Johnny Evans leaving, because we do need a fourth choice. And Didi's quite tired. Boubacar Samare or Sander Berge? Right, let's bring in Sander Berge. Is it too early to force him into the lineup? What kind of role does he do best? Roaming playmaker, he's got the attributes to do, to be honest. And then a ball-winning defender on defend, I think maybe stifles him quite a lot in terms of what he's good at. And Dewsbury Hall, is it the opposite way round? Let's have a look. Actually, you know, he's got a lot of vision, and whilst it's not saying that roaming playmaker is his best role, I think he is a very good one. So I think we will have Dewsbury Hall as the roaming playmaker. For now, I'm going to start, I think, Sumare in this defensive midfield role. Let's not throw Sander Berge under the bus just yet. Pereira's coming back from injury as well at the minute. Ryan Bertrand is also on his way out. Berardi again, someone who's quite tired. So I think we'll bring through Harvey Barnes. I don't really want to drop Maddison or Vardy. So I guess we bring on Patson Daka. Oh, this is an interesting one, you know. I think we're going to have to play a few players who maybe aren't fully fit and hope we can still get over the line because our squad depth isn't quite there. And this is the busiest part of the season, right? When you're playing in this Christmas period, early January, New Year's, all of that good stuff. But I'm hoping today will be a win for us, but we'll only find out once the game is underway. So let's get on with it, shall we? Here we go. Newcastle with the first highlight 1 minute in. Maybe we can steal the ball off them. It's what we do very well in this 4-2-4. The pressing from the front is usually brilliant, and Vardy does it again. Finds Patson Daka. Patson Daka scores straight away 1 minute in. We're not losing our jobs today. Is Jamie Vardy doing... He's doing a little dance there. I thought he was going to start hitting the griddy, but he didn't. He just started dancing on the spot. But that's great pressure on Dan Burn from Vardy. Gives us an easy breakaway. Patson Daka never convinces me so far with his finishes, and that's why he's my third choice striker. But he still bags there, and he does enough. We might actually need a fourth striker if we're going to play this 4-2-4, because currently it's only Daka, Vardy, and Iheanacho. But maybe Shoulder Up can also play there. Who knows? I think we'll find out this game. Oh, Yuri Tielemans is playing against us today. I did not notice that. I'll assume Johnny Evans is also on the other team as well. We'll find out in a second. But I would love to get a win over these guys here. Particularly Tielemans, who considered himself ready to move to a bigger club. He's went to Newcastle, which fair enough, I understand that. A very ambitious club with a lot of money. But I'm hoping now we can show him what he's missing here. Maddison goes past his man, goes past Dan Burn. Patson Daka taps it in. It's a great bit of work from Maddison that gives Daka an easy tap in after forcing Pope into the save. But that's only 2 minutes 40 in. I did not realise that. We are winning 2-0 after 2 minutes 40. So in theory, this is going to be like 86-0 or something like that. Let's keep it up. I don't know why I skipped that highlight. But straight from the centre, there's another highlight here. And Johnny Evans is playing. Wow, this is massive. You try and sack me now. I'm hoping by the end of this video, we'll at least not be on an F rating anymore from the board. Because I do think that's extremely harsh, you know. To be 2 points off a Europa Conference place and be threatening to be sacked every game it's a lot to deal with. Jamie Vardy is in. Oh, he almost makes it 3-0 in 3 minutes. Very impressive. These guys turn up as soon as I put the camera on. They love performing for you guys. I mean, look there. Chelsea in 6th place, only 1 point ahead of us. Wolves were only 3 points away from overtaking, and we beat them in the cup match very convincingly. So I really do think we could smash it this year. We just need to get past this point where the board are trying to sack us, and hopefully in a couple of years when we win the Champions League, we'll look back laughing at this moment where they nearly sacked us from Leicester. But it's been a massive, massive performance so far. Vardy's taken a knock, so maybe he needs to come off second half, but he seems to have recovered okay. Maybe when the second half kicks off, we'll let him get off the pitch. But that was a brilliant first half. We've been absolutely fantastic. I'm going to give most of these guys up to the 50th, 60th minute, and then we'll start to make some substitutions. But it is Newcastle straight away in the second half, probably trying to get a foot back in the game. I imagine they would have got told off at half time. And St. Maximin plays it into Isaac, but Castagna does very well to get it away. Matt Target finds, I don't know who this guy is, Garang Carroll? Never heard of him. But either way, there's St. Maximin. Altay Bayandir comes out, claims the ball, but it's not the end of the highlight. It is. And that is a great bit of goalkeeping there. Very aggressive to catch the ball and stifle anything falling down for that Newcastle side, who are starting to grow into the game a little bit. And after this highlight, it will be time to freshen things up. But Patson Daka does well, winning the ball from Nick Pope's goal kick. But the ball does end up back with Kieran Trippier, back to Pope. And now let's put the pressure on, get some high pressing going, and hopefully win the ball back in a dangerous position. There's Johnny Evans. Trippier, here we go. We've pressed, we've won it back. Harvey Barnes is in. Harvey Barnes, it's a really poor shot. I sound like that guy then from that video where Barnes scores for West Brom. Harvey Barnes. If you haven't seen it, that was awful. But if you haven't seen it, please go and check it out. The highlight has ended up continuing, by the way, and it's fell to Callum Wilson up front, and he's gone and scored. I mean, I stopped talking after the Harvey Barnes thing, thinking that was the end of the highlight. It's ended up with Callum Wilson, and he scored the first real chance that Newcastle have had. A good bit of work, mind you. But he's bagged that, and now starting to. My job's on the line here. I need to be careful, and without me being able to make any subs just yet, or at least me not having time to click the button, the second highlight of the second half has begun, and it is us on the ball. Maybe we can make it 3-1 and make sure we get over the line here. Soyuncu blasts it forward into the corner. Matt Doherty gets there. He's got room to pull it back to Samare. He does. Now Dewsbury Hall. Poor pass from him, to be honest. He's given the ball away very cheaply there. Castagna does well to win it back, and now we just need him to bomb up the left and cross it in. But instead he goes backwards. You know, patient build-up, whatever. I don't mind it too much. Here's Patson Daka, though. Blocked by the Newcastle defence. Johnny Evans marshalling that defence well there for Newcastle. Daka again, though, finds Vardy. Vardy shoots. Vardy scores. I'm now going to take him off because he's on his way to an injury. And he might be annoyed at that because he is on a hat-trick. I've got to do what I've got to do. Before anything else happens, let's get some subs on. So, Berardi can come on, even if slightly tired. Barnes not playing too well, so shoulder up is going to come on. Actually, though, yeah, he's going to come on. We'll bring on Iheanacho for Vardy, swap him with Daka. Still two very capable players up front there. Sander Berg can come on for Boubakary Samare in the ball-winning midfielder position. And then Castagna can come off for James Justin. That's 5 players on, 5 subs all at once, but fresh legs, all of which I think can do a good job for us here. Again, that came from a nice bit of pressing, this time from Dewsbury Hall, a great assist from Daka, a great finish from Vardy, and we are now 3-1 up, playing very, very well. We do have a free kick here though, straight after. Dewsbury Hall in, Soyuncu with a header, off the line by Dan Burn, good save by Nick Pope beforehand, and now Newcastle will try and break away, but hopefully we can deal with that, and James Justin does exactly what we'd want him to do, stifles the attack, and that might be the end of the highlight, or we might still be going. And I think we might be, because Bayandir's found Nelson. Nelson to Soyuncu. Is his name Nelson? It is Nelson. For some reason I got really confused then. Here's Domenico Berardi. He's in. Berardi opens up, and it's a really poor shot. I don't know what he did there. He has started to play a lot better for us recently, Berardi, since joining. But we do need him to finish chances like that. And there is a highlight straight afterwards with Newcastle. An end-to-end game, plenty of highlights in this one. And you would expect that, 2 teams competing for the same position in the league, arguably a similar strength squad. I'd say Newcastle maybe has a few more star men in it right now. But we've definitely built our team up quite well since joining here at Leicester. Berardi, though, running down that right-hand side, making some space, plays the ball along to shoulder up. He can pull it back for James Justin. He does. James Justin, it's a poor touch. He loses it. And it ends up with shoulder up. It's a bit of a ping-pong ball in the box. Nelson claims it high, plays the ball forward to Berger, who finds shoulder up. Shoulder up, can he put it across the box? He kind of can. Justin, Patson Daka for a hat-trick. There we go. That's how we do it. 4-1 up at Newcastle. A hat-trick and an assist from Patson Daka. I claimed his finishing wasn't great at the start of this video, and even though they've been quite easy goals, he's taken them all very well, and that was the hardest of the bunch, I would say. Great work to keep the pressure on there. Justin does well, puts a dangerous ball in. I say hardest finish, no, that was also a tap-in, wasn't it? Daka's got 3 tap-ins today, but we will take it. 73 minutes in, 4-1 up against Newcastle, and hopefully that keeps us in the job for a few more days as we slide in to 7th place, overtaking Chelsea, with Fulham and Wolves in our sight next. Job done there. 4-1 against Newcastle, a brilliant result. It was the Patson Daka show, and now we should have climbed up the league a little bit, which we have, into 7th place. By the way, only 5 points off 4th and 2 points off this best of the rest spot that the board wanted us to get. But let's see what the board are thinking of us. It's gone from an F to a C in one game. Honestly, it's been an F for like months on end since that poor run of form in October. And now as soon as you guys are here, it's changed. But you know what? We're fine with that. We've got past the must-win match that would have led to our sacking. We've got the win, and now we are in those Europa League spots. So I guess that's all they're really after, just for us to get into those Europa League spots. And as soon as we're out of them, they want us sacked. Either way though, it's time to make our way to the West Brom match in the FA Cup. Hopefully win there and get our cup run off to a good start too. Okay, it's game day now against West Brom. It's time to pick our rotated side for the FA Cup. Justin and Luke Thomas come in. I think I'll also start Iverson. Iverson's injured. Let's give Danny Ward a match in goal and see how well he could do. I might regret this, but either way, we've gone for Thomas, Justin. Wout Fez comes in, who's been asking for more game time, so he can have it today, should he want it. A midfield two of Sander Berge and Ndidi gives us some rotation in the middle. Barnes, Berardi, I think we'll go for Berardi and shoulder up, to be honest. Give Barnes a rest after last game. And then an attacking two of Daka and Iheanacho. Hopefully those two together can get us through today. Who was taking the armband then? Domenico Berardi's been given the captaincy. What a strange one. I mean, the guy's probably played 10, 15 games for us at most, a lot of them from off the bench, but it is what it is. It's nice to see the tactic is doing a good job for us. Since switching to it, we've been a completely different side, and whilst the AI will supposedly adapt at some point to it, it's working right now, so we're going to keep it up. I mean, I would love it if the starting debutant, should I say, in shoulder up could get his goal today. But we'll see how this game plays out. Here's the captain of today, Domenico Berardi, floating the ball forward, and it ends up quite comfortably with the West Brom defence, not West Ham. Daka putting the pressure on from the front. After a bit of play at the back from West Brom, it's been a long ball forward, which we have won back. The ball ends up with Wout Fez. It's a great ball from new signing Sander Berge in the playmaker role and shoulder up, also going very close with that shot, hitting the post. But it's a good, bright start from us. Luke Thomas doing well with some defensive work there. But the highlights aren't stopping just yet. They're going to keep coming. And hopefully one of these will lead to an early goal from us so he can relax a little bit. And here is shoulder up. It's been flicked on by Iheanacho. He does well to find Sander Berge, who hits it with the outside of his foot. Both of them nearly assisting each other so far. And that's a very, very good start from us. I keep trying to go and have a look where West Brom are sitting in the league, but they don't let me. They keep having highlight after highlight. That's definitely not a penalty, ref. Don't even try it. And Didi, though, might be able to start a counter-attack with a long ball through to shoulder up, but it's well defended by West Brom, and Luke Thomas has some equal high-level defending, heading the ball away and stopping any kind of attack. But shoulder up's looking very influential so far. Very happy with this. And here's Iheanacho, and he does score. It's an assist from Luke Thomas. It's good to see all three of our strikers are bagging at the minute, and they can all rotate roles as well. The only one I wouldn't really do is Iheanacho in the pressing forward, but Vardy can do both, Daka can do both. And so far, it's been an excellent performance from us in the whole video and also in this West Brom match. A goal has given us exactly what we needed within those first 20 minutes. Now we just need to keep this up and we should be home and dry. Maybe another goal just to make sure we'll be fine. But West Brom are currently second in the Championship. So that's not an easy game at all. Clearly a team that can do a job on their day. But at home, I would hope we'd have enough to get over the line here. But they do have the ball on the left-hand side, looking quite dangerous. They find Grant in the middle. It's a good save from Danny Ward, playing for the first time for me today. And we do manage to get it away. But it does show that we might need a second goal to kill this game off, because West Brom look like they could score at any time. And we do have another highlight, 37th minute. The highlights keep coming in today's video. It's probably going to be quite a long one. Thank you for all your support, by the way, on the series so far. I do really appreciate it. Make sure you are hitting that like button if you are enjoying. It really helps a lot. And subscribe if you haven't already. Just to let you know as well, I haven't mentioned it yet, but there is a Discord linked in the description, which is growing day by day as more people join it. We've got over 300 members there where you can ask Football Manager questions, share your tactic, ask for advice, share your Wonder Kids, or just gloat about your save, or have general football chats. There's even an FPL league and everything in there. So if you are interested in any of that, a great community of people, very helpful. Feel free to check that out in the description. But shoulder up again, getting in behind every single time, looks very good and nearly scored in the previous highlight. But there, he plays a good ball into Daka, who misses his shot. But it's a very bright start from the young 18-year-old today. Daka from the corner, can he do anything? It's near enough half-time, but we might have one more chance of a goal. Wilfin Ndidi finds Wout Fez. He hits the bar. Daka tries to get in there, but it's put away for the corner. and we still haven't got that second goal that we need just to make sure we'll be safe in this match. Maybe it will come here before the second half begins. It's Luke Thomas into the box, away, shoulder up, can't get there. And there we go, that is half time. 1-0 up so far, but we still need that second goal just to make sure we can get over the line. Okay, first highlight of the second half. It's been a bit of a slower one so far, no highlights until the 60th, but Danny Ward plays a good long ball forward. Shoulder up looks like getting a goal today, and this might be his chance. Iheanacho into Daka, and Daka misses his shot. Again, I don't think he is the best finisher in the world, but it's good to see he's getting those opportunities and doing enough. But Iheanacho is clearly playing the better of the two today. Gillespie away for West Brom, 60 minutes and a chance for another highlight and hopefully a chance for another goal. Shoulder up looking classy on that left-hand side. He looks so good. Berardi tries to play the ball forward, smashes it into the back of Patson Daka, and that might be the kind of look that West Brom need because Danny Ward is now out of his goal, but he does well enough, finds Luke Thomas into Soyuncu and back to Wout Fez, and we'll rebuild again. Come on, let's put that second goal in the net. Justin now, he plays Ndidi. And we're just knocking it around for fun, but this is what we want. An incisive pass forward from Justin, tries to find Berardi, but it's well defended. We could put pressure on the goalkeeper there though, and hopefully get that second ball in. And here we go, Sanderberg to Ndidi. He finds Berardi, there's players lining up in the middle. He goes instead for Patson Daka on the edge of a box, who's finishing. I really shouldn't say anything about, because every time I do, he proves me wrong. So maybe actually, I should keep doing it, but he's just scored an amazing long shot from the edge of the box, a powerful strike. Brilliant finish. It was a great ball forward in the first place from Ndidi. Berardi, I thought, chose the wrong option, but clearly not. Daka smashes it. Might have taken a deflection on the way. I think it did. And it finds the top left corner, and that puts us 2-0 up. 60 minutes in, exactly what we wanted, and now it's time to rotate the squad a little bit. We are bringing on Doherty, Victor Nelson, Castagna, Pratt and Dewsbury Hall just to give us some fresh legs and keep the game time going for those guys who are likely going to have to start our next match, which is the quarter-final of the League Cup against Norwich, which will hopefully be another win and move into a semi-final. We've been knocking the ball around quite nicely for a little bit now. Here's Soyuncu to Sanderberg, back to Soyuncu. A lot of these players are about to come off the pitch, so it's kind of their last chance to get anything in the game. It falls to Sanderberg, and he scores on his starting debut for the club. It says 4th goal of the season, but it's his first for us. Very happy with that. It was a bit of poor goalkeeping, let's be honest, from the man in the net for West Brom, and he will now come off the pitch to a standing ovation, I would have thought. Good play from Berardi to hold it up, pull it back, and he gets his second assist of the game. A very powerful strike, forces the goalkeeper to do something, and that's all you need to do, I guess. Just play it to the edge of the box, have a long shot, and this West Brom keeper will likely let it in. But it's been a great performance, 3-0 up, Newcastle beat, hopefully now West Brom beat as well. Can we add a fourth at any point? Or are we just going to see it out at 3-0? It looks like it's going to be a comfortable 3-0. Very happy with that. We never really looked in danger. West Brom only having the one chance. And that hopefully now drags us out of any kind of trouble that the board might have considered us to be in. I think we've done a great job so far. Now from a C- to a C, we're building up and we're doing well at the club. Although I'm used to that always being on an A or a B, so it is a little bit worrying. But having a look now at who is left in the Carabao, we have got Norwich, Villa have got Wigan, so you'd assume Villa are going through. Arsenal, Southampton, you'd assume Arsenal are going through. And then Fulham, Man U, probably the hardest tie of all of them. But you know what? There's not that many really scary teams in there, and we might have a chance of getting some silverware in this first year here. Ryan Bertrand has now left the club for £2 million, and it's left us with a nice bit of wage budget, so maybe we can move that around and bring someone in. We've got a few transfers to make, and I'll show you them in the next episode. But thank you all for watching this one and for all of your support so far. So I hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.